Hello, hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, that's how it works? Oh. Oh, hello, 17 meters.
Yeah, right.
Kid in 17. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Radio, radio, radio. CQ, CQ, CQ. Hello, CQ. CQ, CQ. Hello, CQ. CQ, CQ. Yes, no?
I hear audio. It's a little hissing in the background.
Hissy, hissy. Should we try the other pack?
Let me try that.
All right. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. It's the same. Hello, radio. Hello, radio. Hello, hello.
Proceed to go to the DRA, and I want to thank Joe. Where are you at, Joe? Joe?
Joe? We lost Joe.
Who's moving to Portugal? He must have stepped out for a second. Anyway, he'll be back, and you're on the board. You cannot say, oh, Larry's on the board. I know these are small. We're trying to provide them here. Can't take very many. Pass those around. And there's 4 items tonight, so if you're interested in any of them, just in the order I show them to you, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just put your call sign in. The first item is a Vertex VX 150 VHF handheld. That'll be number 1. If you're not interested in bidding on that, don't put anything down for that.
Great 2-meter HT, by the way.
Number 2 is an LDG 4-to-1 Ballon. You can build a wire antenna. That's number 2. So line 1, we can choose to bid is this radio. Line 2 is a Ballon. Line 3, unopened,
Never mobile.
never mobile, no pollen. A Daiwa 2-position coax switch. That's number 3.
That's a $75 value right there.
With inflation penalties.
As Paul would say at field day, from a pet-free, non-smoking environment.
Never mobile.
Never
This is a high-old foot switch. Oh, wait, look at what he's got. The high-old foot switch. It's an older one. It's excellent
That,
condition.
yeah, the older ones are,
Yeah, the newer ones.
Way better.
I've had to fix mine like 4 times.
that
So,
was,
And the trigger.
that
all
looks
you
like
want to
that's
do on
the
this
Eagles
is
era.
Put that down under number 4.
Those
right-
back in the
right
days,
foot switch.
how
Whatever.
Jay makes them.
Radio's 1, Ballon's 2. You can bid on all of them.
Switch.
Coax is 3, and high-old switch is 4. And highest bidder gets those items.
All right.
It's donation to the club, so.
ready
We
to?
got the money man here.
And the money man's here.
So do we want to run with the meeting, or do we want to figure out who won what?
Oh, we'll do that as we go.
Okay.
Let them think about it.
All right.
I can see different people are,
Yeah, there's some contemplation going on.
Right.
What should I do?
What was number what? Spread it on the tables. Item 1 versus item 2. Showcase 1, showcase 2.
I feel like Monty
Right.
Hall.
Vanna White, it's from your left to your right.
No, not Vanna White, Carol Merrill.
Fair enough.
This must be a sign.
More like Charles Nelson Riley.
Not silent enough.
All right.
We're good, okay.
bid strong and bid often.
Yeah, and often, that's right. Well, welcome everyone to the July meeting. Hard to believe we're into the month of July already, so thanks for taking
Some time out of your schedule to join us. My name's Dan, N2SRK, club president, at least until the end of the year. So we'll see what happens there. Glad you could join us. I want to welcome any new members that we have. Any new members in the last, say, 60 days? We can welcome you again. I mean, it's always a good thing. All right, Mark, yeah, welcome. So why don't you give yourself a quick introduction?
call sign, name, and what's your favorite mode to operate?
Hi, I'm Mark, K0MLD. Been a ham 50 years this summer.
Wow,
First
congratulations.
license at 13.
Excellent.
I enjoy 6 meters in the summertime, antenna building, contesting, rack chewing.
Love it.
Operate sideband CW
Awesome.
and glad to be here. Nice to meet all of you.
Now we're glad to hear you traveled a little bit way to get here.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad until 470 and 25.
Yeah, that's a pile of coat hangers this time of day.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're glad you're here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Awesome indeed. Let's see here. Any guests? Any other than Mark? Any other first-time guests here? All right. We'll do the leadership introductions. I'll start with our Vice President, Paul.
Welcome tonight, we're glad you're here. Got the weather changed a little bit for the meeting tonight, a little warmer out. How many people a week ago were complaining about the weather? Okay,
None.
so anyway, welcome, thanks for being here tonight. We have a fantastic presentation tonight, as always.
Yes.
And we have a little overview of Field Day, we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Pollen.
And
Holiday.
yeah, there's still some on here.
Still, all my radios still have pollen on them.
So welcome, everyone.
Excellent. Thanks, Paul. Randy.
Yes. Present.
Present. All right. We'll move on now.
Yeah, I'm Randy, K0T&G. I am one of the directors at large, and hi.
Hi, Randy. Robert.
I'm Robert, 80CA. I'm the club treasurer and money wrangler.
That's right. Like the bean counter we all need. Absolutely. Scott.
Hi, I'm Scott, NA0MT, and I'm the other director at large.
Very good.
Welcome. Glad you guys are here.
Yeah. Our CTO, Jeff, he's on vacation. He's down in south of the border of Mexico, so
I think you lost the bet.
it could be. Depends on where he is, though. I mean, it could be Cabo, it could be
Tijuana.
Chihuahua. I mean, right? It could be one of those places. Brian just got back late last night. Brian's our secretary. He was traveling back east. Told him that was no excuse, but no, he got in rather late last night, so he's
Able to attend as well. So, yeah, glad you guys are all here for sure. I know we usually do soapbox comments now, so we'll actually run into that. Any new licensees? Any upgrades? None. How about some new DX? Anybody work some new DX? None.
I listened to the back end.
Who did you listen to? What was the call sign?
I don't remember.
HV0A.
There we go, HV0A. Yeah, that was, so kind of give everybody a heads up on that, I had the opportunity to operate the HE0A Vatican City ham radio station when I was over in Italy over the past 2 weeks, and got to do that. What was that? Not last Tuesday, but the Tuesday before,
Yes.
I think it was. And boy, what a pile up! That was one incredible pile up, and it made for a fun. What was it, about 45 minutes that I was on or so, and just a good time. Probably made 110 contacts. It was blowing and going pretty hard. So that was a lot of fun. That was special. I'm in the middle of doing a write-up on that, which I'll share with the PRA before I submit it to QST and see if we can get it in there. So yeah, that was sorry I didn't work anyone in Colorado. Of course, hindsight being 2020, I said I should have called Colorado only, just to get some Colorado stations in. Yeah. Any new radios? Any new candy? Anybody wants to brag about? Oh, what do you got, Robert?
FT5D.
FT5D, very good. Congratulations.
The ham vintage special that finally came in. $299.
$299. Ooh, what do you got there?
GD77
GD77.
with the custom firmware, thanks
Good-
to a
good
link
deal.
he sent me.
Good deal.
Is
that what the
more to
GD
talk
stands
about
for?
it coming later.
All right, there we go. So there's a preview. On top of that, we got a great presentation on satellite communications. Wayne does a great job in satellite communications. He's been passionate about it over the last couple of years. For those who were at Field Day, we had some demonstrations going, but even if you went to previous year's Field Day, Wayne and his son are out there and just doing a great job in doing some satellite contacts with that. And it's a lot of fun, and we have an opportunity tonight at 7:50.
750, there's a SO50 pass.
So there we go. So what we may do, we may scurry outside at 7:50, see if we can make some contacts on SO50. That'd be kind of cool. Well, very good. We'll jump into the current topics of the night. Paul and Scott, you guys want to do a quick field day follow-up?
Field day. If you weren't there, you missed a great one.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
Who was there?
I can tell who was there because you're still a little green. The pollen was off the charts up there. There was a green fog that blew through the camp area.
Daily.
Hourly. Our PRA radios, I think Kim finally got them all back, and I think he's going through them with a blower to get them empty.
But it wasn't too bad Saturday.
No, it was the best on
Saturday
Saturday.
was much better.
What was the site?
We were in Woodland Park at Colorado Campground.
Nice.
So we set up one tent with the 7300 in it, and that was the 20-meter station with a 20-meter dipole. And then Randy's trailer was up there, and we used that one with the 7300 on it also, right? Or no, the 7200 on that one. And then we put up a 40-meter dipole, an 80-meter dipole, and a 15-meter ham stick that we used. And did independent logging using the N1MM.
And very, very respectable QSO count.
Yeah.
We had over 800 Qs. And that didn't count maybe anyone from home that.
No, that was just on the mountain.
So we could easily be over 1,000 Qs. Wow.
And some bonus points for stuff that we had going on. So
That'll
yeah.
put us in the top 3 probably in Colorado. Bands were great.
Bands were great. Weather was absolutely perfect. Couldn't have been better.
Who watched the movie?
We showed Frequency on the side of the tent, but it was in 2 parts due to a fuel shortage on the generator.
I
first
thought that
night-
generator was full.
Yeah, first night, Friday night, we started it, and we had to wait until it got dark, and man, did it cool off. It started out shorts and t-shirt weather, and it finished with 2 blankets and a heavy jacket before the movie died.
I came in second in the fire starting contest. Who won that? Yeah, who won that? Who won that? Go ahead and stand up, stand up.
This is our master fire truck. We did a
Winner. It wasn't close either. I'd like to think that I was like pretty close, but it was
no.
blew it
No.
away.
Yeah.
Blew it away.
So yeah.
Do we have to call you champ now?
Yeah. We did multi-tool. Tell us about multi-tool.
Well, you know, I want to say something about that real quick. The president of our club, standing right up here, he made a couple of comments about that before we did it. I'm not saying they were like real negative, but it's kind of like, what are you guys doing? You know?
However, who participated in multi-tool day?
Now, wasn't that cool?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that cool? Yeah, let's give everybody a round of applause. Who won that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Tell him, champ.
Yeah. But you know, that was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. We had probably, what, 8 or 10 people participating in that?
Yeah.
And everybody tried to outdo the other person. And you know, we had a lot of good multi-tools that were there, some that were better than others, but everybody participated. We had a great time. And I'm not going to say Dan apologized. I wouldn't say that. I would say that he...
Was he humble?
He said something about his fact, well, I thought that'd be a flop. And then he said, that was pretty cool. So thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
For acknowledging that, and thank you for those that participated. And we've already made the decision to do that again next year. So you
So get on Tebow and get your multi-tool for next year.
All 12 of them.
That's on the phone for Tebow.
So if you can think of things like that, we had time to do some additional things, but the
Yeah.
fire starting was a lot of fun. Did the rule that we
So the
put in
rule
place,
was-
if you won, you can't participate next year.
Yeah, you have to organize it.
Right.
And we're in charge of it.
It sounds like-
Oh, we didn't tell them about that, did we?
Sounds like these
Huh?
rules should be-
Yeah.
There might have been a lot of
How it
that
sounded
field
like
day.
at field day?
Yeah. There wasn't a contest if you.
No,
I don't think so.
no. So anyway, there's field day. Food was fantastic,
Great.
burgers, dogs.
Yeah. Those of you that
Oh,
were there previously when we did pork shoulder and then we did hamburgers and hot dogs, do you have a preference? Was there something that you like better or the other? No comment? Okay. How many like the hamburgers and hot dogs? Okay. I think that pretty much says that. So. Okay, so
Did you get any feedback from the camp hosts?
a little bit. They were very happy we were there. We didn't cause any issues for them, and they didn't know anything about ham radio. We did invite them for dinner, and they came over, and they were really happy to be there. And I think overall they're probably the best camp hosts we've ever had up there.
Yeah.
They kind of told their supervisors we were there. Supervisors knew who we were, but they were.
Rangers never showed up.
Yeah, we were. We want to thank everybody that followed the rules and parked where you were supposed to park. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Not shooting antennas over the Rangers.
Yeah, not flying drone. Wayne, but he didn't know, and it was kind of cool. Okay, so last thing, and Scott can jump in here real fast. We're starting the planning process for next year here in just a few weeks. We'll put out something in the blast, probably have a quick meeting before a face-to-face meeting or during an Elmer meeting.
Yeah.
We want to start planning ahead and make sure we know what we're going to do, where we're going to go. Everyone's input is welcome. You can drop an email anytime at board@parkerradio.org.
B-O-A-R-D, not B-O-R-D.
Right. And if you have any suggestions, drop us an email, because we're going to start planning for next year. Do you want to go to the same place? Do you want to do something different? Do you want to put up more antennas, less antennas? Did you like Randy's trailer? Do you want him to get a bigger one? Whatever, we're going to start that planning process. If you want to participate, you're welcome to do that. We love people that want to participate, because it does take us about 10 months or so to get it all together and get everybody out there. So, thank you.
You're welcome. I also want to give kudos to Scott, Paul, and also Randy.
They pulled together a pretty good team and pulled together a lot of great resources to make it a great field day. I mean, those that participated in the antenna setups. I mean, I think that was a great learning lesson, that, you know, if you don't succeed, try again. Yeah. Please.
Obviously, Kelly and I are very new to this, and being there, we were able to come up on Friday to participate, and it was invaluable, watching the wires and understanding the setups, and things go wrong, and you fix on the fly. It was absolutely invaluable.
Well, thanks for that comment. Yeah, and I give you guys credit because you guys were great at just asking questions, and you weren't scared to ask questions, and that's part of the learning experience behind all of this. So don't lose that passion for questioning and learning. And we all, whether you're licensed 50 years or 5 weeks, you ask questions in order to learn, for sure. So yeah, great feedback. But yeah, certainly these guys, just a tremendous amount of time, effort, and energy that was put into it. Randy's trailer was just that was an exceptional piece there, made for a really good setup, particularly on 40 meters and 80 at night, and that just did fantastic. There wasn't one hiccup in any of it. So thanks again, guys, for a job well done.
Can I add one thing?
You may.
Insofar as your DX situation, I did get a message from Scott, K0WAV, when it came to contacts, and he said he added Lithuania and Estonia to his log and got Master of Europe and South America on QRZ.
very good.
So I just wanted to bring that up.
Nice. Way to go, WAV.
And he's listening apparently.
Good job,
because he's giving me a
Scott.
hard
Hey,
time.
Scott.
Hey, Scott. Hey! Awesome.
Is
Very
it hot
good.
over there in Arkansas?
Broiling.
Or Missouri?
Arkansas.
We have anybody from the Elmer, a new member committee here tonight? No? Okay, we'll move on from there. Wayne, Dirk, you guys have anything for the repeater committee?
DMR repeater's been replaced, fixed, and put back into production. We're currently working on the replacement for the D-Star repeater, and we're still investigating the issues we keep hearing, the weird RFI we keep hearing on the 2-meter.
Sure. Do you want to spend just a couple minutes going over the process to follow so that all of our members know if they start hearing issues on the repeater, what process
I
should
did
be
add a
followed?
form on the on-the-air tab. At the bottom of the page, if you hear any interference or you hear something that just isn't right on the repeater, feel free to shoot an email either to repeater@parkerradio.org or go to the webpage, and at the bottom of the on-the-air tab, there's a form that you can submit and it'll go to us so we can investigate the issues that are going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, hopefully that helps stream.
Is it 2-meter up and running? It was down for a bit. Is it?
Yeah,
It's up and
back
running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was only down for that day, and then we
Okay.
brought it up the next day as a single by itself,
Okay.
and didn't have any issues, so we brought it back into the All-Star Hub.
Yeah, one of the things to keep in mind also is this time of year we get the phenomena of tropospheric ducting that takes place. So there's actually a repeater in Cheyenne, Wyoming that is on the same split that we have as the uncoordinated share pair. And every once in a while I can hear them on my drive in. If I'm along Arapahoe Road or if I'm on I-25, every once in a while, usually in the mornings they run a weather net and usually pick up just a little bit here and there from that.
There's one in Texas also,
Yep.
and there's a West Coast repeater.
Okay.
Comes in here every once in a while.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind if you think it's like, wow, I hear something, but it's not a strong signal, or maybe kind of came over the repeater for a quick second. It might be that tropospheric ducting, but still shoot an inquiry into these guys.
Yeah, so we definitely need to hear what it is,
Yep.
so we can understand what it's doing.
Yeah. So yeah, 2 ways to do it: repeater singular at parkerradio.org, or on the air tab on our website at the absolute bottom of it. There's a form to fill out there. So thank you guys. Yep. Dirk.
And if somebody has like a cell phone, they can do a recording of what it sounds like. That's huge to troubleshoot exactly what it is. So. And I also have a new duplexer that's going up to replace the one that's up there. So hopefully that might eliminate some issues we're having.
Yeah, and we might open the squelch tell a little more,
Or tighten it a little.
tighten it up. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
sounds good. Any questions for the repeater team?
Did the squelch tail get shortened just a little bit? Because it sounds like sometimes there's not a squelch tail. It comes
No,
and
we
goes.
didn't do anything with the timing or anything like that.
Okay,
We're just gonna go up and actually change the squelch level to make that a little bit tighter, but the hang time is still the same, nothing has changed with that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Don?
The W0 CFI repeater is on the air, but not
Nice.
operating very well. What happened was the antenna that I was using is on the top of the tower on SQUA, and unfortunately, that got repurposed by the owner to a paying customer, so he can make some money. So it's operating on a corner reflector on the ice bridge, which is a commercial band, 460 megahertz instead of down in the 440 region. I do have a new corner reflector antenna on order, and when I get that, I'll run up to SQUA and put that antenna up and take the other antenna down, and it should be back up on the air.
Very good.
My MTR 2000 is unrepairable, so I'm using a XPR 8300 right now for it, and unfortunately, it's on a commercial antenna, which is 460 meg instead of 440, so I've got the 440 corner reflector antenna on order. When I get that, I'll put up on there. That should bring the W0 CFI repeater back up.
Awesome.
I think Randy and Scott and I are going up next week to do a battery check or something and a couple things, so if you need us to do anything on your repeater.
Oh, let me know,
Or-
and because the door code changed.
Okay. Well, can you send that to me or write it down? Either way.
Very good. Thanks, Don.
Okay.
Hey, Paul, let me know, because I gotta go up there anyway for some, the commercial system up there.
Because there was people getting in there that weren't supposed to.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just gotta check out Randy's battery and,
Well, that's what I was gonna do, I was gonna bring the filters up there, so, you know,
all right, well, we'll coordinate and
Yeah.
maybe I'll do the same thing then.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Let's see, portable ops deployments, a SOTA outing coming up, July 22nd. Scott, you got anything on that? The SOTA outing?
The location is forthcoming still. I haven't.
Okay. Now, there's also a Colorado 14er event that's coming up.
Correct.
End of August?
That
Yeah.
is, no, first week of August.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So on that went out on the blast this week. On the 4th through the 7th, SOTA operators throughout the U.S. are going to be on peaks, on most of them here in Colorado. We call it the 14er event. You don't have to be on a 14,000 foot peak. However, they will probably be activating at least 14,000 foot peaks over that week.
40?
At least.
40.
Awesome.
Yeah, they've had as many as 50 activated.
The
at once.
groups.io
It's huge.
group is just,
There's only 54, right?
Correct.
yeah.
There are some that are very remote, hard access, and there are people that will still go do a bunch of those.
10 pointers.
Yeah.
So anyway, just listen in on, well, they'll be on HF, of course. The Colorado group tends to work
About
heavily.
2 meter,
On 2 meters.
140.
Yeah.
146, 520 a little bit, but they'll be on the adjacent channels. 5.8 is real common.
5.8 is
Start
the
on
Adventure Simplex.
Yep.
Yep.
So listen in, you'll hear a bunch.
And that's fun to chase, it's fun to do
Okay.
as well. Absolutely.
Good deal. Any questions there on the summits on the air?
It ought to be easy to get on HF, right? I mean,
Oh, it's super simple on to HF.
Well, it's even simpler on 2 meter simplex.
In Colorado,
In
at least.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
strange that they don't do any 6 meter.
They will do a little bit of 6, but right now the herdist are called the mountain goats that have accomplished their mountain goat status, which is 1,000 points. They have done it on HF right away. They've done it on VHF. They've done it on some of UHF. They're now working on microwave. So if you have microwave capabilities, there is a prime opportunity that weekend to work 1.2, 2.4, and 86 gig.
Is there a spotting site for SOTA similar to the
Yes.
POTA site? Okay.
Yes, very much so.
You can actually, if you're going to participate or want to see what people's plans are, you sign up for the groups.io for the W0C Association. You can actually log on. I think I'm the only one that's posted so far, but you can post your plans of where you're going to go so you can see what people are doing, but then they'll post alerts too.
Yeah.
So watch it.
Very good. Moving on real quick, just a public service
Announcement on supporting the PRA. If you are at King Soopers or you have family members that shop their groceries through the Kroger Corporation, they have a community rewards program where our group purchases, as long as you select the PRA as your charity of choice, they bundle all the purchases under each member account, and then they give us a cut back through Kroger. So it's a great program for us. We get a quarterly check back from them. And Robert, those checks usually average several hundreds of dollars. Yeah, so I mean, it certainly goes a long way. So not only here in Colorado, but again, if you have family members that use Kroger across the country, it's the same program, and the Parker Radio Association as a 501c3 is listed in their community rewards corporately. So not only good in Colorado, but good nationwide as well on that. So appreciate your support there. Remote Station Initiative, do we have any updates on that, or probably not? We'll move on from there. Robert, I had you for shirts and badges, but you're done with that. Yeah, so.
What I'll start doing, I've got to get up gradual the way I work at the way. I'm going to start bringing the extra shirts that we have just for sale here. So bring some cash next time.
There you go.
And we'll start whittling out shirts.
There we go.
What's left?
And how much cash would we need to bring?
About 20 for a short sleeve, and what was it, 24, 25 for a long sleeve.
Pretty good deal.
So,
Just want to comment how nice the quality of the shirts are and what a good job they did.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, they really turned out nice. Thanks for that feedback.
Yeah, Paul?
I just want to thank Robert, because we are moving to a different system. One of our club members, Chad is helping us with that. But Robert's been doing this for a couple years at least, and it's a really difficult job that I think a lot of people don't walk up to him and thank him. So I just want to give Robert. Yeah, right.
No, and it's great because, we're big on supporting Colorado businesses, and we're also big on supporting, and streamlining things,
When we can streamline the ordering process where we don't have to herd all these different orders in, bundle them, work with a vendor, now you can just order directly on your own through a t-shirt vendor, which is in the process of getting established through one of our members. But the same Chad is also doing the new badges as well. And I see a lot of people with the new PRA badges. They're looking really good and quick turnaround and very decent price.
the biggest advantage was going with Chad. With our old vendor, I had to have a minimum number of shirts. So we were only ordering maybe twice a year. So if you place an order in the middle of the year, you got to wait 4 or 5 months before your shirt even got ordered.
Yep.
But with Chad, you can go to the website, I want that one, click it, boom, mail's to you, done.
Yeah, works out real well on that. All right, Robert, we'll throw it over to you. You want to hit up a financial report?
Well, sure. And as well, just to emphasize what Dan was talking about just then, King Soopers has been worth $1,100 to us so far this year. We get those checks roughly quarterly when those come through. So Amazon Smile is done. We're through with that. We won't see any more Amazon Smiles. That program got canceled at Amazon. And right now, all the committees are nice and fully funded. Wayne's got money to spend on a new D-Star repeater. So we're doing good. If you have any questions, just let me know.
And what you'll notice too, as we go through this, we look at the opening balance that we have, but then we also take a look down at the bottom. We allocate every dollar back into the organization, which is really important. And that's one of the things too. We don't want to be a bank. We want to put the money to use. It's members' money. It's the organization's money. And we want to make sure that that's circulating back through our programs as necessary. So there we go from there. Any questions on our treasurer report? All right. Elmer Night we have coming up on the 19th, so that is next Tuesday? Wednesday. Let's take a look here. 19th is Wednesday. We have an antenna build, and as part of that is a radio giveaway.
That was last.
Oh, that was the last meeting?
Yeah.
Who won it?
It was a 6-meter Delta loop. I don't remember the name and call.
Ed, that was his first name, I don't remember.
Was it Ed?
Yeah.
Very good. Very cool. How did it perform?
In here, it was a little tough on the measurement,
A little noisy.
but the design was good. The
Okay.
quality was good.
Nice. Very good. Awesome. Well, we don't have the antenna builder radio giveaway next Wednesday. I don't even know what the topic is. How's that for honesty when it's inconvenient? We'll figure something
But
out.
come on out.
Yeah, come on out.
Don't let that stop you.
Might be a potluck. Exactly. Well, very good. Any questions or final comments before we get into our wonderful monthly presentation?
One question.
Yes.
So we got one of the antenna kits that I guess maybe had been distributed out the month before we were here,
Okay.
but I don't have any instructions.
Oh, we got to take care of that.
There's no instructions when you're a ham operator.
Sorry.
You want a manual?
Figure it out.
We will get you one.
Okay.
I may have one. You're talking about the tape measure?
Yeah.
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 Jerry has some.
Jerry, I think I have one at the house as well.
We'll get you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. No,
Thanks for asking.
And if you need, and/or I'll just throw this out there, if you want to build it during Elmer Night,
Ring.
bring it. And we'll ping Jerry and let him know and
How many in here are technicians? Don't be bashful. It's okay. All right. Well, I already got you at the last meeting that I was at. So we're going to put a little pressure on Dirk. There's a general class study manual. Who's got a fairly new recent radio that they need to program some frequencies into? Well, we got one. Well, here you go. Fresh off the press, 2023 repeater directory from the ARRL. There we go. All right. There we go. Awesome. Anything else before we wrap it up for the business meeting? We want to get into the presentation. All right. Well, that's it. You bought it. So congratulations. Thanks for that. As Paul had mentioned, every month we have really great presentations that are given by club members. And in particular, they revolve around things regarding ham radio or something that they're passionate about within amateur radio. Wayne, N0AD, as long as I've known Wayne and as long as Wayne's been a member, Wayne has been very passionate about satellite communication and has just done a tremendous job. And I can remember the first field day he had set up for satellite comms, and I learned a bunch from Wayne because I had not taken a dive into doing any sort of satellite communications, and I'd been licensed 30 plus years. And just a tremendous amount of knowledge, study, and a real good sense on how to make it work. And I think you actually had a great contact here recently with the International Space Station as well. So, yeah, how cool is that?
Six contacts.
One for one. That's pretty
nice.
cool. So, without further ado, and I give him some bragging rights on this. Wayne's got a great presentation on satellite communications, and we're also going to have the ability in about an hour and 7 minutes, actually maybe we'll get out there a little bit early. At 7:50 there's actually a pass of one of the satellites. So
7:55.
So it's 7:55, so right before that we'll head outside and see if we can make some satellite contacts with that as well. So without further ado, we'll bring up Wayne and let him get set up, and we'll go from there. Paul, do you want to talk about?
Pass your silent auction bids up when you get them done. Oh, you need pens? Okay.
Well, am I eligible?
Yes, why not? Yes. You're here.
Okay.
You're here.
We'll take your money.
Yeah, your money's green.
No, you don't have to pay the seat. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Everyone here is trustworthy.
What did you drive in?
And Robert knows where you live. So whoever wins can pay Robert tonight and whenever they get around to it. And if you're gonna bid, we'll pass this pen around and then just send it back up so we can give it away after Wayne's done.
Thank you.
Here, just pass it.
Anybody else?
Anybody else need a pen?
Pen?
Pen will.
Hello, CQ.
I had that happen during a presentation. Thank you. I have another mixer, so turn it down.
What time?
If you're a club member, it's free nachos tomorrow.
Free nachos.
Oh, you're kidding me.
If you go to your club and look down at the
Can I make a
inbox.
comment?
Yeah,
Go ahead, comment.
That's your,
I find fuzz perks of this club. Truly. Forget the food, but being able to come at any time and ask any stupid question, not having to wait for Elmer night, this is a great service. I really appreciate it.
I like that.
we're glad to have you. And the question was what time? And
Good thing Brad's not here.
yeah, Brad's not here, but truthfully, we're starting to get there at 10:30.
It's like breakfast, it's not lunch.
Some people have.
Yeah, so anytime between 10:30 and let's just say 11:15, and then we clear out probably by 11:45 to noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Get more time at Fuzzy's than you in the library.
we do. Yeah, so don't be surprised we get there at 11 is what I'm saying, and there's already 20 people there, we've already, but I don't know why that's turned out to be that way, but,
The one time I made it,
yeah.
I waited in the parking lot till about 10 after because I didn't want to be the first guy. And I walked in and everybody's already there and some of them were done eating. So I went, oh, next time I can come at 11 sharp. So now I know I can come at 10:30.
It's actually a little bit 11 last.
Are we handing that in yet?
Yeah, just pass it down.
Can I steal a pen? There you go.
Yeah.
I think there's one in there.
Numbers down.
Hey, all my points went up.
Two, number two.
Oh, there's no internet.
Just call and then the number?
Do what?
Just your call and the number?
Yeah, number two, and then, whatever, $5 or whatever you're gonna put.
Oh, there's money involved.
Yeah, there's money involved.
It's gonna be a change.
Yeah, you can settle up with Robert anytime you want.
The tabs are bent down a little bit. I just don't like the way it's designed, but it's if you put it on, four screws that go into
No drag.
the differential housing. Screw it out. And then
He's good for that, I can just stick the camera on.
it goes over, but they should have put spacers in or something.
What?
Let it go.
They don't touch. So you don't want it to touch, you don't want it stronger.
You can't get rid of stuff.
50 foot-pounds because you crack that. So it's gorilla strength is bad, so on that, but yeah, I'll save it for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me know what you want.
Do you want to buy another 705?
I'll just give it to you.
How many do you have now?
Yeah.
No, me. No, I know you like bought and sold it twice before, so I don't know if you want anything.
No, I don't think so. You know, somebody has one, or?
Yeah, me.
Oh, you're gonna sell yours?
Anybody want a 705, by the way?
Oh, he's giving it away?
Like one?
No, giving it away.
I already have one, thanks.
705,
Yeah, IC 705.
you're selling one?
I will be. As long as my KX2 works when it lands in the mail tomorrow, hopefully, then.
So I was gonna say, you buying an L-Craft?
Took 16 weeks, but it finally.
Is that about the wait, is about 4 months right now? Okay.
That's pretty quick right now.
Yeah.
Hamcation, we were quoting for KX2s, 16 to 24 weeks.
Is that your drone wing?
Huh?
Is that your drone?
And how about a K4, Scott?
Where's that here?
And how about K4?
KY9X. Tom, KY9X. You're the proud owner of a VHF handhelds. People settle on the property.
EX1.
Hey, congratulations.
You good?
Just waiting.
I'm a Boy Scout, you can tell.
All right, so who all has ever done any satellite contacts? So we got 3. Who wants to actually see how it is to do?
Yeah.
Anybody want to stand up for 10 minutes and hold an antenna, a radio, and my phone while I do this presentation? It's like, I do have some videos that I took over, I think it was yesterday or the day before, just with a GoPro, just to give you an idea. But originally, as you were saying, with satellites, me and my son, before we were hams, we bought a USB RTL SDR, and we connected it to a Raspberry Pi, and we did basically the NOAA satellite images. As the NOAA satellites come over, they're transmitting 100% all the time. You can pick them up at horizon to horizon and download, decode their image that they see as they pass over. So that's what got us into radio. And I played CB when I was little, but this was, jumping back 10 years, probably 8 years. We would download those, and my son was playing around with the RTL SDR and heard people talking, and it was in the 147 band. Listened to it, we figured out what frequencies it was, and it was ham radio operators talking on their repeaters. And that's how we got into ham radio. And now the wife's a ham, I'm a ham, my son's a ham. Me and the wife are both extras, and my son is a technician hoping to get his general at some point. Come on. So we do satellites all the time. So I borrowed this off the internet and edited it a little bit, just a beginner's guide to go over satellites. There are quite a few new birds in the air, thank you SpaceX. So you have your satellite types, you have transponder, repeaters, and data, orbits, where it is and who you can talk to, what do you need, to talk to people over satellites, and active satellites, a typical QSO, and the fun part, the awards and challenges. So this is basically, your normal FM satellite or FM bird. You have an uplink and a downlink. They're usually one's UHF, one's VHF. depending on, well, with FM birds, your sidebands are different. Your FM birds are really fast. You don't want to call CQ on them. You will get an email in the mail if you call CQ on them telling you don't call CQ on a repeater. Just like your normal repeaters here in town. Because they're pretty active, they're pretty fast. There's quite a bit of people on the FM repeaters. You can actually call CQ on the sideband repeaters, and there's people that rag chew the entire pass. And I'll get into, the timing of those passes. So here I touched on this a little bit. The uplink for SO50 is VHF, downlink is UHF. And as the satellite passes, depending on the bend of the atmosphere and how high it is, there is an effect called Doppler effect where the frequency moves. So this is SO50. This basically just gives you the area, how wide the band is as it's passing over from when you're first getting it on one side of the horizon to the other side of the horizon, how much shift there is in the frequencies. And that was one thing I wanted to bring up with this new radio. It actually does Doppler for you. You don't have to do anything. And I brought up this radio, the ID52. They both have dual receive and dual transmit or duplex radios. So on this one, I would actually plug in that frequency on one side and that frequency on the other side, or the UHF and the VHF on the two different sides, and then slowly adjust and try to hear and figure out where they were. And also the app that I'm going to show you also helps out with some of the Doppler. But this new nifty radio does it all for you. Doppler's the difference in the frequency as it's passing over. Because the bend in the atmosphere as the radio waves. Like it's over here, it's longer distance versus it's closer here, longer that direction, so the wave actually stretches.
Kind of like a train when it's coming towards you and leaving past you in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. This is the sideband birds. The linear transponders converts 200K to 100K of spectrum from one band to another, allows multiple QSOs at the same time. They use narrowband modes, CW or sideband, and they're usually inverted USB on one downlink and LSB on the upper links. And this just shows you the spectrum of how much bandwidth there is on sideband birds. I have not done a sideband bird, I just don't have the radio to do it. I do have the egg beaters on my house to be able to do it, but I just haven't bought a 9700 to be able to do it. But I would like to at some point, but I don't have a 9700. So some of the programs that I'll be mentioning in the next slide, this is G-Predict, which shows you basically that's the satellite, and this is how much area that the satellite sees. The higher they are, the bigger area that they see, and basically anyone in this area can have a contact with the satellite. So if you're in Iceland to here, you could definitely have a contact as it's passing over. And a lot of the software will actually show you, that's called the footprint. But the higher the orbit, the larger the communication footprint. Anyone that's within the footprint, they can work each other. Iceland to Libya, as I was showing. Low orbit, shorter pass. IAS is 400 kilometers, 10-minute passes. And we have software that can do the tracking for you, which is on the next slide. Well, this is actually showing Nova, which is a Windows tracking software, just showing you this is what this satellite, this is their footprint. The IAS's footprint versus AO7, which has actually went dark. It's an older satellite that isn't reachable anymore. So, and this was another one, this is the AO40 that I was talking about, and its coverage, how high it was away from the Earth, and its coverage. Yep. Yeah, they shoot up quite a bit. There is one AO27 was put up in 1990, late 1990, I don't remember the exact year. And the guy that designed it, it went quiet, and the guy that designed it was able to contact it and adjusted its programming where it only comes on for 4 minutes on certain passes when it has perfect sunlight, and then shuts off for the other so it stays alive. Because these things are just floating up in space with solar panels and batteries that eventually will die. So these are the tracking software. The Amstrat Droid is a free one, and I can share these, put them on the website. I use this software that I'll actually show you a demonstration of this software. This software is on the previous screen that was showing there. Ham Radio Deluxe has it built in. This is another website that if you look at any of the satellites, there's a ton of information on every satellite on that site. And this is an open source software that I've used before with my very first radio was a Yaesu 857D. That did 2 meter, 440, and HF. And this is an open source software that uses HamLib and to do cat control. And it'll actually, you download the satellites, you select which one you want to listen to, and it'll actually handle the Doppler effect for you as the satellite's passing over and alert you when it's coming over. And then this is from the original slide, but just different radios. Originally, when me and my son started doing satellites, we were doing them with two. We had one for UHF and one for VHF. So, and then we got this nifty little duplexer. So I can just connect a radio on and run both. So, but originally we were doing two Baofangs. Originally we were doing one RTL to SDR to here and then transmitting on the other side. So this is just, you know, basically what you need for doing satellites. 3D. That's a commercial Aero antenna. I did 3D print. This is just a holder to, when I bring these down, they all lay inside of this. And then these are also cable holders just to keep the cables in. This is about 180, yeah, with the duplexer. Yeah, you can, I saw one online on Craigslist in Colorado Springs for $145, but it didn't have the duplexer. Huh?
For 2 and 70?
Yep.
Yeah, you can get them split boom or solid boom like that.
Yep. So.
We have another club, I can't remember his last name, Dick, N7 something.
Yeah, the guy that's out in Elizabeth that has an antenna tower or a farm.
Lives here in Parker.
Okay.
And he has the IC 9110 or 910 or the 9100. I don't remember which one, but he's lacking 3 countries to have worked all countries.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's well, we can look here. You just, as I was saying, I already touched on the radios. You need something that'll do both sides. I haven't played with sideband at all, but it's basically you know, 440 and 2 meter that you're doing sideband on. I would like to at some point, but basically it's just, you know, you could do 2 radios. You could do, you know, what I'm doing here. This is probably one of my favorites to do satellites with, just because it has a record feature built into it. All I have to do is turn it on, and then as the pass is coming over, I can actually hear both sides. So I can hear what's coming in, and I can hear myself transmitting. This radio does a Doppler, and the new software, it's OpenGD77. It's basically its own CPS software, and it sticks a satellite.txt file in the program of this, in the program files of the CPS software, and you just edit. It comes default with 8 satellites built in, and you can add to them, which I did add. There's 8 Tevel satellites that have just been brought up, I think, at the beginning of this year, that are live, that currently their passes are really close to get together because they were all on the same rocket. So they basically turn the transponder on the first satellite, and then the other 2, they don't have the transponders on. And I can show you further some websites that I use here. So I already talked about the antenna and the arrow, and already talked about that. This is I have actually seen some of these in Arizona where they have self-tracking. Basically the same thing as that, but it's on a gimbal and it just follows and automatically tracks satellites. Easy peasy, you just pick up the mic and you can key it. There was originally a fellow in our club that was working with somebody at one of the colleges here with a gimbal system, but he was at Field Day with the dog and sleeping in his car. Maybe, yeah, I don't remember. And he's dealt with some of these antennas like this.
Okay.
But this is professional. This is, worked all countries. This is when you get to the money behind these, I couldn't even guess how many thousands of dollars something like that costs unless you made it yourself, which would still be quite a bit expensive. And then if you wanted to do your own, that's basically, I have a picture of my son probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago, standing in his winter gear with a fence post, or not a post, but a fence piece, a piece of, our fence, that he had put copper wire on and had it all wired up for a 2-meter Yagi, and he was going to go stand outside in the cold during one of these winters that we were playing radio. I thought it was quite entertaining. Here's just basically some active satellites. I did update this a little. You have AO7, FO29, SO50, AO73, the IAS, and this is the website that you can actually see. And I'll bring that up right now. Let's see. I use this website quite a bit. So this is real, live data, real. So basically you have your dates up above. These are the listings of all of the different satellites, and this includes sideband, this includes data only, this includes FM. So SO50, which is doing a pass at 7:55, is right here. This means that last time, the first pass, it was not heard. As you can look up there, no signal. But 3 people reported it here that the transponder was working. 1 person here, 3 person here. So this is just a pass through of UTC time. Here's all the Tevels that I was telling you about that are new. And this is reports of people talking on them, versus the beacon only. So I do report to this, and you can actually, it's as easy as just selecting a satellite, what one that you just had go over, not heard, date, call sign, your grid, and then this is the list of all of the ham operators that are actually reporting to this list. So there's quite a bit. Summertime's pretty crazy on the birds, on the satellites. Winter's it's a little quieter in the wintertime, but the weekends are insane. During the week, you might get a better chance at getting a contact on the birds. I call it QSOs on speed, because you have to remember it's lightning fast, plus you're trying to keep pointed at the satellite as it's passing over. A typical QSO is your call sign and your grid. This satellites are all about the grid, playing Mac Grid games. There's people on Twitter that actually post a map of the United States and say, I need these grids, and people will respond, I'll be in that grid on this weekend at 1 p.m. on this satellite, and they'll be there to try to work all grids. So it's pretty interesting. There's I had a fellow in New York that contacted me, I don't remember from which satellite I was on, that was just helping me out, giving me some more. It was in the very beginning when I first started doing satellites. He gave me a lot of tips, how to get them, what to do. I'm still if you want to help the people out, you do have to log them in Logbook of the World. If you want to help other people get their rewards, it's a little confusing logging it in QRZ since there is a split on the frequencies. Let me go back to the presentation. So basically, I touched on this already. Your typical QSO, it's short, as the passes are 10 to 15 minutes long, longer for linear transponders. CQ, it's the call sign. You only call CQ on sideband birds, call sign and map grid. Minimal power, this is 5 watts. I've had multiple contacts on this radio with 5 watts. It's pure line of sight. There's no point I could probably do a contact with a watt or less. It's pure line of sight. There's nothing in the way. I think they're only shooting 10 watts at you. You're not supposed to use less, anything more than 10 watts. Yeah, as I said, the estimated Doppler in the app that I'll show you how to do that. And then here's one of the activities that they do. And this is real. This is from their site. Walmart parking lots on the air. They do it once a year. We missed it. It was in July, at the beginning of July. This is comical. Literally, there's people in Walmart parking lots. And the exchange, it's common practice to exchange your call sign and the grid square during the contacts. Associates are encouraged to simply mention Walmart or Walmart store number. I've actually heard them calling out the Walmart store number during the contact. It's a riot, but it's just it's just like the old day to get people out there to understand the hobby. But yeah, there are people standing in the parking lot with a Yagi, and of course people are gonna be like, what the hell is that guy doing? Like my neighbors think every time I go outside and I'm pointing the antenna. So it's good times. And then here's the awards. So there's all sorts of awards that you can do. I said the AMSTAT 51 award, the 73 award. You just need to go on amstat.org and take a look at all the awards that they have. But that is.
Is that Stan?
It does look like Stan.
Yeah.
Maybe. You never know. Kinda. Let me grab my iPad so it makes it a little easier to see.
Would these satellites repurposed from prior use?
No, only for amateur use.
Where's all the funding coming from?
All over the world, honestly. The Tevils are from, the Tevils that just got put up were designed by, I think it's like 8 Italian schools, colleges that designed them and put them up. And if you go back to this site, you can actually click on them and it'll give you all the information about them, what their frequencies are. Israel, actually. So, yeah, as a science center in Israel is the one that actually created all of the Tevils. And those are brand new. I think I've only got one contact on them because they are brand new and there's a ton of people on them. But let me pull this up so I can share. So this is I'm trying to think what would be the best way to show this. That's why I put it on the iPad. So this is the, where's the camera at right there? So this is the ISS Detect software. It's free, but if you want to add the amateur satellites, I think it's like $5 pay and you're done. At one point, the developers had they currently have a Discord. At one point, they did give it to ham operators. If you proved that you were a ham, they would give you the license for the amateur satellites for free. But I went ahead and just paid for it. It looks a little different on the iPad, but here basically are the list of all the satellites. So let's take, for instance, SO50. That's currently where SO50 is at. And here is all of its details. So SO50 has a transponder on it, an FM transponder. It has 2 FM transponders. If some of these satellites have data modes where you can download software and connect to them and download what their battery usage is, how long they've been running, what their current temperature is, all of the information off of the satellite for any of us to look at. There's nothing to do with it. You can just download them. Some do APRS, and it will give you all of the information here. It actually gives you the frequency and also gives you where, plus or minus, where the Doppler is currently in its current path. So as it's going over, it'll actually keep you'll have an idea, it'll give you the frequency -8, that it's currently -8 off of the center frequency, so you can kind of guess at where Doppler is at, versus with the other radio, it automatically handles the Doppler. And let me see. So basically, that was what I was looking for. So that is the pass. So this is SO50. SO50. So basically, so I would be basically holding the antenna straight. This is north, or southwest actually. So this is coming over straight from the northeast, coming straight overhead and going to the southwest. So actually it's going to go this way, because this is the starting point. So you would basically, I usually do it with the phone. I'm just using the iPad so everyone can actually see a bigger screen. As it comes over, there's this little line here on the side and this little dot. This handles the basically the slant of where your antenna should be. So as it comes up over the horizon, this little white dot will actually tell you where exactly to hold the antenna as it's passing over, and you keep this straight north as it's turning to keep it on the antenna as you're coming around. And I have a video just to try to help with that, show it a little bit better. And again, I did the video by myself, so it's not the best quality. It's a little egg-shaped, but it'll work. So this gives you an idea of me basically holding it, everything, from a GoPro from my head, as you can tell. So see the little dot here? If I can quit moving. See the little white dot in the area on the side? Is that viewable from back? So basically that just tells me where to keep the antenna, where exactly, and also the direction. As I'm keeping the white arrow straight this direction, that's just telling me what direction and what azimuth to keep the antenna at. And this radio, as I said, is just keeping me on Doppler, so I don't even have to mess with the frequencies at all.
So can you 3D print a little phone holder bracket that attaches to your antenna to
Maybe.
hold it?
I actually have tried, but the metal of the antenna messes with the compass on the radio, so then your direction starts moving. I have tried that. Let me see. I don't know if I want to, I can pass this around and just show. This is, I need to adjust the coordinates. It's my house coordinates, so it's probably off by like a minute. But basically what you're looking at there is just a listing of the next coming satellite passes. That's, it's automatically already predicted the passes and what time they'll be there. You can actually click on the passes, but this just gives you an idea. Let me get another, see if the second one's any better. I said, this is all me, myself, with a GoPro on my head. My neighbors love me. They see the antennas in the backyard, you know, they see some crazy stuff at my house. Yeah, like, well, we have new neighbors across the street, so I was like trying to hide behind the RV so they couldn't see me.
Ask them for the
See
video of them filming you.
Yeah, right. So this is, I don't think I can flip this, but again, there's that little dot. So that tells me how low, how to level it basically to give me the idea of the angle that I need to be pointing at, and this gives me the direction of the satellite. And again, this satellite that, this was CAS 3H, which I've actually got a Mexican contact, XL1TJ or something. But basically, you can just look, the line goes right through the center. So this, literally, that bird came right over the top of me. So it gives you an idea.
When are you finding, when you're doing them, I've only done a handful of birds, but you need to rotate your antenna back and forth to change the polarity as you're going.
Yep.
And it's very forgiving in the respect that it's not just on and off,
You're tuning it in. Yeah, it's staticky and it gets clear. And actually with that radio that I was passing around, you can, it'll actually give you a signal report on the side of what, and there's also a scope on it that you can turn on too. And the first time that we got that radio set up, I was out at Dane's place, and I don't know, I don't think the audio's, the audio's going through him, so I can't play the audio, so never mind.
No, she passed through.
Like, we didn't hear it. Yeah.
How about Buffalo Springfield?
Buffalo Springfield?
It's on your playlist.
Oh, nice, right? Yeah. So this was out at Dane's house, and this is actually kind of funny. I'll just bring it up. I had grabbed his wife and said, "Hey, grab the phone. You're going to help me." And it was an ISS pass, and it's very rare that you hear an astronaut on the International Space Station. There are hands on the station, and very rare they don't advertise it because of the amount of pileups would be on it. So it's rare that you hear him, and in this pass, we heard him. And they always say, "Welcome to the International Space Station," and she heard it, and she was, you know, it really, you know, it was good time. But that's basically all I have. We have a pass here in 30 minutes. Any questions? Randy.
Somebody told you about that GD77 for sale.
Yeah, KX, well, yes, you did, but KX3DX is actually for the guy that told me about the firmware. It's just a custom firmware that's for the RT. There's like 5 different radios that the firmware goes in on, and it has the satellites built into them, the list of satellites. It's a really cool firmware.
What's it called, or where do you go?
It's OpenGD, OpenGD77, if I remember correctly. Yeah, OpenGD77. And then you just pick the radio that you have. The radio that it's a good radio. The only thing that I don't like about that radio is it doesn't have built-in GPS, so I have to manually enter the GPS information. But they do have the GT35, and the GT35S. Those two have a GPS built in. You don't have to enter any information. It just pulls the GPS coordinates directly. The only thing in the CPS software, you do have to go in every so frequently update the Kelper information, which it basically takes the satellite list that you have created for it, or you use the default satellite list, and it pulls the pass information so it's more up to date and more current on the passes as they come over. So I've only been using the firmware for 2 weeks. I have tons and tons of contacts, and actually I could play one here. They might enjoy it. Let me see. This is basically but it's super fast. You got to try to hear call signs, remember them. I found myself going, I record every pass. I found myself going through the recordings, writing down who I heard, because most of the people on birds are the same people. A lot of people know themselves. Hey, they'll say, "Hey, Bill," or, you know. There's guys that do rovers, which is where they go to different map grids. I said it's a map grid game. That there's guys that's all they do. They'll just go out in the middle of the country. And funny enough, that as I'm mentioning that, Dane's area, DM77, is actually we're here. So I have a couple people that were like, "You were in that map grid. Can we hook up a time to do some contacts?" Because I guess there's no one in Pueblo that does, you know, any map grids for satellites down there. So I gotta coordinate some contacts at some point next time I go down. But it's a good time.
And these sold for what, about 100 something?
$89, I think it was, 89 plus tax and shipping, so a little under 100. So yeah, and that was an open box. They don't even make them anymore. And of course they had like 4 left. I'm sure they had 400 left, but you know. But I was able to get one. I asked Randy to look for him at Dayton, and he didn't see any, but did get you know, his phone heard me say that to him, so it served him up an ad from Radiodity when they came available, and he forwarded it to me. So.
That damn Google.
Yep, always listening.
Always listening.
Any other questions?
So it sounds like it's super populated, so are you gonna hear us? If you get tuned in on a pass, you're gonna hear contacts going on?
If it's a good pass.
Okay.
I would say it's a 50-50 shot.
Oh, okay.
Not all the time are the satellites on. It's different throughout the year, as in where the satellite is in the sky to how much sunlight it's getting. They do shut them off in certain seasons depending on their passes. Some of the older birds are only like, AO27 was one of them that you have to watch the Twitter account for that satellite. They'll actually report when it's going to be on and for what time frame. So if you're in that time of that pass, you can get it, and there are other older ones that are like that. They are putting up newer ones quite often too, I said with the Tevils. The Tevils have been pretty good. I have heard of some night passes on the Tevils that people have been doing QSOs. I was advised not to use the satellites during the nighttime just because you want the satellites to save their batteries. That was just something that was a hint given to me, but I don't know if it's necessarily true worldwide. So, you know, because all their battery and all their juice is coming from the sun and then being stored in their batteries. So, that's, any other questions? Go ahead.
How about solar weather conditions? How much does that affect it?
It affects it in multiple different ways. It could slow them down. Because as we get solar winds, the atmosphere is thicker. They're up high enough that they shouldn't get too much drag, but it really doesn't affect the frequencies they're on because they're on, you know, pretty around 140 and 440. so they don't really get affected. So they're usually quieter, but I would say probably with new ones going up, it's possible they could be knocked out of the sky, but not for any that are in orbit and going. I don't think it would have.
Down in bad condition?
No, I don't think so. I think they're high enough that they don't get affected by the drag. And you know, they're only, I would say they're probably only set up to last 10 to 15 years anyways, because some of them are literally like this big, you know, to like that. Some of the CubeSats, which are some of the ones you can pull the data off of.
Yeah, radiation and the loss of the use of their solar panels.
Yeah, and their batteries.
Kills them
Yeah.
over time.
But they are created for the, you know, conditions that they're put into, you know, for as much as we can.
One of the previous slides said a geostationary satellite coming in 16, 17 or something.
We actually, there is one on the other side of the globe.
Okay.
India has one, which I think would be very interesting, and because its coverage is huge, but I couldn't imagine trying to even talk on it, how hard it would be, just to do the amount of people. We do not have a geosynchronous on this side of the planet. Not yet. They've mentioned it to AMSTAT, but there's AMSTAT needs funding. So yeah, if you want to donate some money, they might be able to get one up there.
It's much
but,
more costly.
Yeah.
It's easy to put these in as ballast, and they just drop them out as they pass through certain
But to put a real launch
altitudes.
in.
But
Well,
put
and-
something out there geosynchronous, it's very expensive.
Yeah, well, even satellites just by themselves, they're space fillers in rockets. That's all they're, you know, all the amateur satellites are like, hey, we got 4 inches available to fill. You got any, you know, if you want it, you can get it on here now. If not, it could be 2 years. You know, they're fillers. Go.
So, there is some discussion of, so these are LEOs, low Earth,
Yep.
low Earth orbit. There is some discussion about putting up a MEO satellite. It would not be, you know, it would not be synchronous, but it would be up significantly higher. In which case, you know, it might cover the entire country for hours at a time, literally.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Have to be sideband. Yeah, I know.
And that might, you know, might be a microwave frequency satellite also. Oh, cool.
Huh? Any others? Go ahead.
Are you chasing the frequency most of the time on those passes, or?
All the time.
You are? All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what about a chest harness with a lapel mic that might free up a little bit, but if you're constantly.
You're constantly adjusting. It's depending on the pass, like it'll be -10 here, 0, +10 here. So it's literally as it's passing over. And on the radio, it'll actually show you as it's passing over. The digits will change, like literally it's dun 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 as it's passing over. So it's interesting.
What I found is what you really need is 3 hands.
Uh-huh.
We weren't built for this. We need 3 hands.
Right? Yeah, no. Well, that's what I said in the beginning of the presentation. Like, who wants to hold that up for 10 minutes? You know, and because I'm literally basically like this. Well, you saw it in the image. I'm literally like this, holding my phone direct, perfect. You know, that phone's a little bit smaller than this one.
Are you using a box or voice activated?
Nope, just hitting the button.
Okay.
Yeah, just hitting the button. And with that one, I'm literally going, you know, and adjusting for Doppler versus that one does it automatically. So that one's a lot nicer and been a lot funner. As I said, the ISS was a blast getting them on there, and I hit it real early in the morning, so there wasn't a whole bunch of people on it. And having the call sign of N0AD, easily rememberable and repeatable pretty quickly, because once one person gets it, it's boom, 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 boom. I get like 4 or 5 more. So I do record and go back and make sure I got the call sign correctly, because there's no way that I can write them down. I'll just regurgitate them back and then go back through the recording and log them. So
Yeah, the ISS always passes for repeater type operation. It's just rare that there's an asterisk.
Correct. Yeah, there's a repeater on it that's open all the time. It is loud. You can actually hear it before it even comes over the horizon. You can hear people talking on it before it comes over the horizon. It's a Kenwood. I don't remember the exact Kenwood that's in the station. But yeah, no, I've heard them probably 4 or 5 times, but it's random and rare. They really try not to advertise it.
Except for the Reeves and QST, where they like announce like 3 of them.
Yeah, right. Well, they did some stuff for some schools to try to, advertise the sport and ham radio, and it was blown out. But yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. I have a lot of fun doing it.
Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's no doubt the passion that Wayne has behind this. It's really cool to see, and I think what's also neat behind all of this too is that not only do we have a great presentation that's taking place, but we're going to actually have a demonstration of it too, to be able to actually go outside and kind of huddle up and be able to hopefully work some stations along this path. So that could be really cool. And what you can see here with what was it, a $79 or $89 HT? $89 HT, and pretty
$5,000 antenna.
Traditional ham radio fashion, but
Tried to make it lighter, but it didn't turn out pretty.
well, less than $200, and you can have a whole heck of a lot of fun.
Or make
with,
your own.
Yeah, you can make your own. Absolutely. So, yeah, you get a double bonus. It's kind of like dinner and a show. You get a presentation and an actual practical hands-on. Paul, you got one more thing to go over?
Well, I do. Alan, you actually won the next 3, or all of 2, 3, and 4. Do you want all 3 of them? Sure, I'll take them. All right, then.
Congratulations.
Settle up with Robert whenever you want to. All right. All right.
So yeah, I also want to give again a second kudos to Wayne for sharing this. I mean, it's pretty cool to see, and again being able to do the demonstration afterwards. So Wayne, thanks for sharing this tonight. Absolutely. So we're actually going to wrap up a little early so we can get the room cleaned up. Get ourselves outside for the demonstration. For those that want to stick around, it'll be good stuff. And
I only need a couple people to help me with the tables. If everybody else wants to head out, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get this taken care of.
Sounds good. Awesome.